Hi guys, as you can tell by probably the title of this video, Miracle Maid Kingdom Tamarinne is the new skin, not a limited unit or not an ML that is being released for Tamarinne. With that, let's take a look at the animation, the little teaser, and everything about it. Let's get into it. Oh, pretty cute. This is very like cutesy anime-y. Okay, that's a pretty cool skin actually. All right. Purchase for a limited time after the update on March 27th. Okay. So, as you're seeing right there, the Miracle Maid Kingdom Tamarinne skin is out. It is a skin, as you could tell by the title. It's not a limited unit, so that debunks everything. But there are a couple things to think about here. First and foremost, the animation, the design of it, I think looks pretty cool. Now, I'm not exactly what's sure the quality or what kind of video, or not video, I guess, what sort of specific how should I say it? Like the quality of what it is. I don't know if it's an epic skin or what quality of skin it is, but it's a new skin that we have access to. And with that, I think there's something that we need to maybe consider, which is the fact that this is a video, or I don't know why I keep saying video. This is a skin for a character that technically already has a skin. Now, normally, or maybe in some hypothetical situation, you could argue that, oh, well, like Tamarinne having, or like a character having a skin makes sense if, let's say, the other skin was like a World Arena skin or something like that. But that's not even the case, given that World Arena skins are usually locked behind the Moonlights, and Moonlights don't get skins. So this is, at least from what I could tell, the first character to have, I believe, 2 skins at all. This isn't a new limited character, and even though there are sometimes characters that have multiple element versions on themselves in some way, shape, or form. That's not the case for this Tamarinne. This is just a second skin, which does open up a lot of possibilities. Maybe Smilegate is interested in releasing more than one skin for a character in the future, which would be amazing because a lot of people, in my opinion, or based on what I've heard and from, surveys and I guess just like community sentiment, have always enjoyed the idea of being given more skins or having more skins. And usually the reason why they can't do that is because of production, or it's not realistic with like the timelines and stuff. But with this, since they're willing to give skins to old characters or to characters that already have a skin to begin with, maybe this is a steer in the direction of them releasing more cosmetic based things, as they have done previously with things like the illustration backgrounds and things of this nature. Now, I didn't want to just leave this video with me talking about Tamarinne and reacting to a literally 46-second video, so I also wanted to talk about the different builds in case if you're someone that is looking to build Tamarinne right now. Now, the thing about Tamarinne is that, as you can see here, basically every single build under the sun works with her. This is one of the funniest looking builds, but actually, honestly, one of the more beginner friendly and one of the more common beginner builds that you'll see for someone like Tamarinne. You just slap whatever 3 sets or whatever sets allow you to of course, get the stat line that you're looking for. And depending on which kind of content you're looking for, this can vary. Now, as you can see here, some of the top end Tamarinnes have some really crazy stat. They have things like high speed, decent amounts of HP, while also having roughly 100 effectiveness and over 200 ER. This can also be the case because of things like certain rifts that require to have more than 200, like maybe you need something like 225 or 220 ER, if you guys remember some of the old rifts from the past. But also in terms of speed, sometimes you do need to cycle out, or you need to make sure that you cut certain enemies, as that's the only way sometimes you can cleanse. Now, in terms of the artifact, as you're seeing here, and this is, by the way, the Fribbles website where you can see all the different variations of builds and stuff, there are many different variations or many different artifacts that you can use on Tamarinne, but the most common is Margahara Tome, for the exact reason that I mentioned earlier regarding cleansing. Tamarinne, if you aren't familiar with their kit, is a character that is very fixated on cleansing or doing a complete cleanse, while also having tempo and giving an attack buff and healing with her S2 and, well, on her S3 as well. That said, in terms of her actual goal, most of the time it's to cleanse, take as many turns as possible, and keep idle form up as much or as consistently as possible too. Now, despite this, what is also worth mentioning is that Tamarinne, though exceptional and one of the goats really of PvE when it comes to having high-end or premium supports, has also kind of, I don't want to say has been power crept, but has definitely seen additional competition in recent times. Now, there is an argument to be said, or there is an argument to be had about Tamarinne's utility as a cleansing, attack buffing, and healing, dual attacking with the highest attack unit, which is something that few characters can actually argue have all in one character. However, in terms of her role, and as you're seeing through some of the other artifacts that you have on here, this also allows her the flexibility to be used in other content. If for some reason you want an attack buff, but you also want to push up a high attack target, well, that's why you have the Idol's Cheer variation. And also in terms of stats, she's one of the more, because she does it all, she can strip and she can cleanse. She's also a character that can actually make use of stat cheating artifacts, things like Shamadra Staff, Flawless Garments. And she also sometimes just performs really well if you use something like Prophetic Candlestick, because, well, let's just be honest. If you get her cooldown off sooner rather than later, she becomes a pretty unstoppable machine, especially in, in PvE specifically. Now, beyond this, I did also want to talk about not just Tamarinne, but also the fact that they released the distribution or the closing or season closing information for World Arena, in case of this is something that you missed. This is going to be closing on the Saturday of April 5th. Presumably, if you're on the EST or if you're on EST, PST, or if you're from America, this is actually going to be on the 4th in the late evening. I think 11 or maybe 8 o'clock, depending if you're PST, maybe 9 or 12 o'clock. I know daylight savings is kind of messing with me right now, so that's it is what it is. But right after this, or right after the season ends, is also, I think it's roughly 2 hours, or roughly 2 hours after this, they have the preseason opening. And as you can see here, they already announced what sort of rewards and what frames and what background packs you will be given. But interesting, and just so you know, there isn't, of course, a Warlord reward or rank for this season, which makes sense because they just announced it. However, if I'm not mistaken, I think they were trying to introduce that in the next season. If you didn't see it as well, the Sylvan Sage skin has also been teased, which is okay. However, beyond that, guys, I wish you all luck, as it is, I guess the last two-ish weeks of RTA. If you haven't gotten into, or if you haven't gotten to the rank that you have already, or that you've been looking to get to already, I wish you luck. But now's your time crunch, and yeah, that's basically it, guys. I think the skin looks cool. I think it does open up the possibility maybe for a small gate to introduce more cosmetics, and that's it. Anyways, thanks again for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy. Good night.